We've got a news alert on the GOP's spending bill. Eamon Javers at the White House. Eamon, what's happening?
Well, we just got a tweet from Elon Musk, which kind of rattles the cages here in Washington and Republicans who support this big, beautiful bill. Take a look at the tweet, which I'm told we do have ready here, from Elon Musk, who says, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Elon goes on with additional criticisms of the bill. And this is a leader who was in the White House as of last week, being celebrated by President Trump as one of his great allies, now really dumping in public on the president's big initiative here in terms of what he wants to pass on Capitol Hill.
Wow. It finally happened. After weeks of increasing tension and frustration, Elon Musk has finally, brutally, publicly humiliated Trump by ruthlessly, explicitly calling out Trump's one big, beautiful bill on Twitter. And a Fox News host confronted Trump's press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, with this response, and we have to talk about it. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, this is a continuation of Elon Musk's erosion with the Trump administration and increasingly public tension. He's not hiding in it anymore. This is brutally explicit. So he just posted this on Twitter. "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." He is referring to Donald Trump's one big, beautiful bill. He proceeded to follow up, quoting his own initial tweet, saying, "It will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to 2.5 trillion, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, and burden America's citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt." Wow. This is the culmination, a brutal broadside by Elon Musk against Donald Trump. And Fox News' Peter Doocy, once he saw the tweet, because this is relatively new, this happened about 30 minutes ago, confronted Trump press secretary Carolyn Levitt to her face about this.
Just cross, Caroline, how mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it. Yeah. Cameron.
She was quick to end that exchange. And hey, listen, kudos to Levitt. Again, I've said it before. I don't think Levitt's stupid. I think she is the most MAGA. She's the culmination of the MAGA press secretary. She's better at her job, more shamelessly, capable at her job than Kayleigh McEnany, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Sean Spicer. She's repulsive in this way. I mean, she's a liar. She's so dishonest. But she handled that relatively well. But man, you could tell she was eager. Okay, fake smile, quickly answer, and let us move on. Because as we previously discussed, Donald Trump is not eager to pick a fight with Elon Musk. Maggie Haberman, reporter at the New York Times, who has a very close relationship with people in Trump world. She gets scoops like none other. She said, yeah, based on conversations with her sources, Trump is not looking to pick a fight with Musk, despite Musk's increasing defiance of him in public. And it's going to be a tightrope for Trump and Musk to maneuver because they both need each other. And I think they're both intimidated to some extent by the other. Now, getting back to this, Thomas Massie, Republican congressman from Kentucky, responded to Elon Musk saying he's right. Elon Musk responded to Massie saying, it's simple math. This is only going to create a better permission structure for elected Republicans who have some sort of opposition to the bill, either because they think it cuts from Medicaid, which it does. It objectively cuts from Medicaid. Nonpartisan analyses have concluded between 8 to 13.7 million Americans will have their Medicaid coverage stripped. You have people like Josh Hawley, Republican senator from Missouri, who says he's a populist, and my state and other states, other red states, states across this country need Medicaid coverage, which they do, and so we oppose Medicaid cuts. This might create a permission structure for somebody like that to oppose the bill, or more likely, budget hawks like Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, Thomas Massie. It creates a permission structure for elected Republicans to say, okay, well, if I defy this, I might piss Trump off, But Trump on paper is a lame duck, right? The 22nd Amendment of the Constitution forbids him from running for a third term, even though Trump has teased that he might try to violate the Constitution, which you never know with him. But you could easily see a lawmaker calculate this as saying, you know what? I don't have to deal with Trump after 2028 or if to the extent that I have to deal with him, he will be in a position of relative weakness because he's a lame duck. But Elon Musk and his money, that represents a serious threat that goes beyond 2028, but it could also be an alliance worth making. Maybe I can get Elon Musk to my side and he could fund any sort of re-election bid on my part. And what's interesting is after Elon Musk said this, Senator Mike Lee of Utah responded saying, oh, the Senate needs to do better with this. So Mike Lee, who is a Trump kiss ass, is now latching on to Elon Musk's public criticism of Trump's one big beautiful bill. So this might create, again, a permission structure for more Republicans who have genuine issues with Trump's one big beautiful bill to stick their neck out and say, hey, Trump, you need to make some changes to this before I back it. Now, speaking of Caroline Leavitt, at that White House press briefing, she was also asked about other Republican opposition to Trump's one big beautiful bill.
Beautiful bill. You said recently that it is, quote, blatantly wrong to say that it adds to the deficit. You essentially said that an estimate from the Congressional Budget Office and other scorekeepers you believe are wrong. But Republicans like Ron Johnson and Rand Paul disagree. They are saying that it will add to the deficit. That is their concern. Is the White House's position that those two Republican senators are, quote, blatantly wrong?
It is. Those senators, it's not news that they disagree with this president on policy, and the president has vocally called them out for it and for their not having their facts together. I would add the Congressional Budget Office has been historically wrong. In fact, they predicted the Trump tax cuts from the president's first term in 2017. Their prediction was wrong by $500 billion. Those tax cuts had nearly $500 billion more of revenue than the Congressional Budget Office scored. And I would also point out, I don't think many people know this, there hasn't been a single staffer in the entire Congressional Budget Office that has contributed to a Republican since the year 2000. But guess what? There have been many staffers within the Congressional Budget Office who have contributed to Democrat candidates and politicians every single cycle since. So unfortunately, beautiful.
Yeah, so Trump's Republican Party has repeatedly cited the CBO under President Biden when it was convenient for them. So you are not obligated at all to take any of her objections at face value, number one. Number two, I will note that the Trump tax cuts did indeed add to the debt and deficit. They did not pay for themselves, so she's lying when she implies that the CBO was wrong, and in fact, Trump's tax cuts were actually revenue positive. It's bullshit. It's not true. But number three, notice how she pivoted the CBO. We'll take the CBO out of it. Ron Johnson and Rand Paul are not Democrats. They are not liberals, and they support Donald Trump, and they want to support Donald Trump here. Rand Paul, as we've discussed in previous videos, is very explicit about this. He's like, hey, Donald Trump just cut the debt ceiling, terms out of this one big beautiful bill, and I'll vote for it despite other reservations. Now, I would argue it's very, very dangerous to play games with the debt ceiling. Now, you don't have to, increase the debt ceiling by $5 trillion because what it indicates is, you are leaving yourself, the Trump administration is leaving itself trillions of dollars worth of room for additional spending, which again belies their claims. It betrays their claims that, oh, this is actually going to, cut the deficit and cut the debt. Well, then why are you raising the debt ceiling by more than what is necessary to pay America's bills based on previous spending, right? Sure looks like you're creating a lot of runway for a shit ton of government spending, even as you tell people that that's not what's going to happen. So Rand Paul has a colorable case here. Ron Johnson, is again also a Trumper. He aided Trump's efforts to overthrow the 2020 election and, touted the big lie. I mean, Ron Johnson is not some sort of liberal Republican to the extent that any of these people exist in the first place. Josh Hawley also has serious beef with Trump's one big beautiful bill. It's just so they can't address this. They can't address this at face value. And instead she tries to pivot to the CBO. But by the way, the CBO, which is a nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, and right now Congress is under the control of Republicans. So they work for Republicans, and Republicans have cited the CBO even when they haven't been in the majority under the Biden administration. They've been, like Mike Johnson was perfectly content as a Republican in the minority in the House of Representatives to refer to the CBO when he felt that the CBO was critical of the Biden administration. So again, just trying to pick what their standards are here. is really challenging. They don't have any consistent principles or consistent standards. But even if you have beef with the CBO, there are other fiscal, budget watchdogs that have reviewed, Committee for a Responsible Budget in Washington. And this is a fiscally conservative budget nonpartisan watchdog. They've concluded the same thing, that it's going to add trillions of dollars to the debt. So this is a consensus. That's why Elon Musk, who spent $300 million to get Donald Trump elected, who lent all the power of his social media platform, tweak the algorithms to boost right-wing Trump-aligned accounts and suppress Trump's opponents. That's why he finally snapped and is publicly opposing this bill. Like, they want you to believe that it can't be a genuine disagreement on the math and that Trump's critics have a valid point. It's one of those things where the moment you criticize Trump or disagree with Trump on any level at all for any reason, the mountains of evidence of Trump loyalty that you had until 5 minutes ago just no longer matter. They throw out the baby with the bathwater. So what hopefully we will see is, again, Elon Musk coming out so strong, so brutally against Trump and Trump's big, beautiful bill will again create a permission structure for an increasing number of Republicans to oppose it as well, because this is a terrible bill. Not only does it add to the debt and deficit, more importantly, it cuts crucial, social safety net spendings like SNAP, food assistance, and Medicaid. That's even worse than being fiscally irresponsible or fiscally profligate, is cutting crucial social safety nets like Medicaid and SNAP. And so this bill should be dead on arrival, DOA, and hopefully it will be, and that it will embolden those who have already criticized the bill in the Republican Party and increase the number of people who feel comfortable to speak out against it. But we will see. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.